I hate candy corn. And then 4 pounds of candy corn later, I'm still freaking eating it. So,
welcome to PricePlow.
Ho, ho, ho! Happy Halloween, PricePlow Nation, SNS fans, and anyone who found this video searching for a candy corn flavored supplement. This is Mike Roberto, founder of PricePlow.com, and I got a fun one for you. It's October of 2018, and SNS, or Serious Nutrition Solutions, has come out with a special edition flavor of their nootropic supplement, FocusXT candy corn flavor. And so yes, it is Halloween season. They wanted to get into some of the special edition, limited edition, seasonal flavors, and man, they came out with a bang and one of the most love it or hate it controversial flavors you're gonna find in candy corn. And so let's first satisfy the lawyers. I gotta say that this supplement was sent to me for free. And we do have a kind of a small business relationship with SNS in that they sometimes sponsor contests on our blog where you can sometimes win some free stuff. So sign up for the SNS alerts. But yeah, so this was sent to me for free. This isn't so much of a review as much as a fun video, kind of hyping up this flavor here, because a lot of people are either going to be all in or way all out. And so I'm really hoping that they nail this flavor. They're saying they did. And yeah, as you can see, I am wearing my daughter's unicorn Halloween costume. Happy Halloween, everyone out there. And so FocusXT is a nootropic supplement, and we're going to get into the ingredients later. What I want to do is just dive right into this taste testing. The thing with candy corn is that it's a lot of it's a texture-based thing. So what I want to do is I actually have some candy corn here, and we're going to eat a little bit of that first, get kind of the feel for it. And now Steve at SNS said 8 to 12 ounces of water is where it's good. I want this stuff to hit me hard. I'll tell you, candy corn on paper, I would tell you, I hate candy corn. And then 4 pounds of candy corn later, I'm still freaking eating it. So I'm kind of with candy corn, I'm kind of like a woman where it's you should probably listen to what she's actually doing instead of what I'm saying, because I don't like the flavor of candy corn, but then I end up loving it 4 pounds later. So I'm kind of hoping they really hit that really hard. And let's do a dive in there. So I'm expecting a 7-gram scoop. I'm not going to show the weigh-in or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you what happens. And we have 30 servings per container here. Love this labeling. Hate to destroy it here. Smell test. It smells like a very sweetly flavored supplement. Oh, I got a little bit of candy corn. I didn't get a ton. It smells like this is going to taste good though. It smells very sweet. Candy corn's, I guess it is a sweet candy. It's just weird. It's just weird. And so 8 ounces of water. Let's get that going, and then we're going to take a bite of the candy corn. Okay, so it's supposed to be 7 grams. It's a 7.2 gram scoop, so really close, but I'm just going in. I want this stuff to be strong, and we'll talk about the formula. Overall, there's about 175 milligrams of caffeine total in here, 167, something like that. We have a blog post talking about it. Let's do the little pour in right here. I'm almost hoping it's going to be orange, just because it's the season. But it looks like it's shaking up clear. Okay, yeah, a little bit of color here. Did they add artificial colors? Natural and artificial flavors. Oh, a little bit of beta carotene for natural coloring. I like that. There it is. Okay, so first we got to do the candy corn tasting. Oh, this is one of those variety packs. Okay, so we got these the candy corns with the brown part here. We're not doing that. We're going and then these things. I don't know what you think about these things. These pumpkin ones. It's almost too thick. I don't get that out of here too. We're gonna eat a few real candy corns. It's an indescribable taste, but it's also that texture, and that's where it's almost like they need to add some of that grittiness, something like glycerol would add grit to it. Okay, I don't hate candy corn. I love it. That's really good. I'll cleanse with a little bit of water. All right, here we go. Oh, that smells pretty good. I accidentally just chugged that and then bypassed my tongue. Aftertaste is awesome. I knew it wasn't. That was the worst swallow I've ever had. Let me try this again. It's not the supplement. This supplement's totally normal. That was just a pathetic swallow. Dude, it's also Saturday. It's a game day, man. I gotta get my drinking face on. All right, here we go. That's kind of there. It gets stronger. It's like in candy corn, you keep eating it, it keeps like building up your mouth, and they have that same kind of consistency here. There's a fast swallow. It's like, for me, it's all in the aftertaste. It tastes like a sweet, pleasant drink at first, and then it builds up. And then, so for the mouthfeel, there's something, it's not gummy, but there's something that's like sticking to the roof of my mouth a little bit, and like in a good way, just like the candy does a little bit. They somehow added, I don't know what they added to this. So there is a bit of maltodextrin in here. So they do advertise it as a sugar-free thing, but there is maltodextrin, so let's be honest about that. Maltodextrin might as well be a sugar, but not enough to add a carbohydrate. And then sucralose, natural and artificial flavor, malic acid, citric acid, beta-carotene for the color. And then it just hangs, and the part that hangs is literally like candy corn. That's awesome. But I would think that someone who doesn't even like candy corn would still like this, because it's really a good flavor. It's sweet. But yeah, they had to go with the texture that has the stick to it. And so that might annoy some people, but I love that, because it's like a good flavor that's sticking around, not like a bad aftertaste. Like sometimes you get like a stevia that just sticks around. There it is. Okay. As it like builds up, I get more and more candy corn flavor, but it's like it's not the annoying part of the candy corn, it's the sweet part of the candy corn. This is like better than candy corn. Oh, I can't stop. Oh. And that's how you know they nailed it, because with candy corn, like I said, I eat like 4 pounds at a time, can't stop. And this drink, I just want to keep going and going and going. And that's not a terrible thing. Man, that's impressive. So they said 8 to 12 ounces of water. I did 8, and I think that's where you're going to want to stick, because with 12 ounces of water, I almost think it would be too sweet, but I'm going to water it down a little bit just to see what happens, because I'm just kind of curious now. So that would probably be like a 10 or 11 ounces of water simulation. It's still good. It's almost like this is what I wish some of those like creamsicle supplements kind of try to go for. When you water it down, I get a little bit of that. Dang, okay. Well, SNS, I gotta say, I haven't had any of the flavors of the new formula. This is my first time trying the new formula, and so far I gotta say, if any of the new flavors are as good on their own, realm, like this blue raspberry is as good as this is doing what it is doing, if that makes any sense, then I'm gonna say that this new formula, they got a good flavor system going on. And then it sticks in the mouth. I love it. Okay, so a lot of people would be like, "Oh man, I would love that for a scoop," and then maybe not anymore. I disagree. This stuff is just good, because it's not like like I said, it's not the bad part of the candy corn. It's the good part, the sweetness. And so here's what I just drank, pretty much. Out of 7 grams, you're gonna get a mostly open formula blend, but there's 2 different little mini blends in the blend. So now we're gonna geek out and talk about the ingredients, and I'm probably not finishing this throughout this video, but we have 1.5 grams of L-tyrosine in a blend, and so you have L-tyrosine first, then N-Acetyl-L-Tyrosine after that. L-tyrosine is the one that seems to work best in terms of actually raising L-tyrosine levels in the blood, and then N-Acetyl-L-Tyrosine is sometimes used because it's more soluble in water, has a few more properties like that, and some people just prefer it, but in general, the science that we have, at least on like the rats, shows that regular old L-tyrosine is the way to go, and it's not bound to anything, so it's just going to be all in L-tyrosine. So we're getting a 1.5 gram blend of that. Now that's a fun little amino acid that boosts our dopamine levels through a little bit of upregulation of some of our favorite neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and stuff. And you're not going to get all like jacked out or anything, but it's definitely a nice little tickle. And so most people really like L-tyrosine. And then after that comes the choline complex at 1 full gram. And so this is where some people might get a little bit feisty, but SNS claims, and I kind of believe them, they claim that they have found the right blend of using choline bitartrate, which is choline bound to 2 like tartaric acid molecules, and alpha-GPC. And so alpha-GPC is the more bioavailable form that everyone's been moving to lately. And there's some studies showing that higher doses of it increase strength, and there's some really good benefits from it. But it's expensive as hell, and you need to bind it to silica if you want to put it in a powder formula. So regular choline by tartrate is about 41% choline by weight. And we're trying to increase choline in our blood circulation, and eventually that will help your body boost more acetylcholine neurotransmitters in the brain. And that's like kind of called the learning neurotransmitter. More acetylcholine is always a good thing. We want to prevent its degradation, which we do later on in this formula, and we want to increase its genesis. And so just taking choline is a great way to do it. Eating eggs is a great way to do it. If you don't eat eggs, you really need to look into choline supplements. So anyway, choline by tartrate, 41% choline by weight, but a little bit less bioavailable, but cheaper, but a little bit less bioavailable than alpha-GPC. Alpha-GPC is 40% choline by weight, but it's a sticky, goopy mess, so they have to bind it to a 50% silica solution, which brings it down to like 20% or so choline by weight. And so you really need to use a lot of that stuff in order to get the same amount of actual choline. And so what I'm starting to find is that some of the supplements that are going like high end or high on the choline by tartrate, I'm doing just as well, if not better, than the actual alpha-GPC supplements. So I think that SNS claims that they just went blindly in with a lot of their beta testers, testing out with this formula what the best blend would be. And to me, if you're going with something like an 800 milligram choline by tartrate to a 200 milligram alpha-GPC, which is actually 100 milligrams of alpha-GPC, which is then actually about 40 milligrams of actual choline or whatever it is, then I think that's actually a smart thing. If they say that they've gotten the right blend and they're keeping it from everyone else, in a way, I kind of agree that I like high levels of choline by tartrate. So if it's, as long as the alpha-GPC is not totally pixie dusted, I was like, dude, is it like 50 milligrams or something? And he's like, no. And so that's what's important to me. Is not pixie dusted in there, but they have what they consider to be a good cognitive enhancing supplement here. Now, I should cut right into the energy part because this provides 161 milligrams of caffeine in the scoop that I'm about to finish here. Let's see how it's like resting in the tub. I love this stuff. This is so funny. It's just a good sweet supplement. And so where are we at? 161 milligrams of caffeine per serving. Now that's coming from 125 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous, straight up caffeine, no water bound to it, whatever. And then an extra 50 milligrams of caffeine, dicaffeine malate, which is known as Infinergy, is the trademark of that. And so dicaffeine malate is caffeine bound to malic acid, 2 caffeines, 1 malic acid, and that lengthens out the energy curve. Takes longer to digest, break down, and then the caffeine hits you. Lengthens out the energy curve, so we love these caffeine blends. I'm a huge fan of not just getting a straight caffeine assault. I like a little bit of each. And all in all, that 50 milligrams of caffeine citrate is going to add in just a bit more caffeine. And so that's going to add in like 37 or whatever milligrams of extra caffeine. And so you end up with a total of 161 milligrams of caffeine. Not the biggest dose, and it's actually less than the original formula of FocusXT, but at the same time, this is meant for basically a sugar-free, and I'll put sugar-free in quotes in this flavor because there's maltodextrin, but a sugar-free energy drink that you use, or this is what is more commonly used for, is as your base stack when you're adding in the other kind of nootropics, like Nootropic, for instance. Really good stuff we've talked about on this channel before. Or going into the paracetams, the racetam or phenylparacetam is an awesome ingredient, but it's not technically a full, it's not a dietary supplement per DSHEA 1994. We might be able to debate that, but at the end of the day, we could debate that with Nootropic. Phenylparacetam is most likely not. So anyway, when people are using those racetams, they are choline depleting. You need to get in a nice stack of choline and some other support, and it's always great to have a little bit of caffeine. And so FocusXT is actually best to me as a base for the more hardcore stuff, but right on its own, doing me good. I've always liked it, and I like this formula. And so I kind of cut down from the tyrosine to the choline to the caffeine. So we have 161 milligrams of caffeine. When you have some of this extra stuff, you don't need 300 milligrams of caffeine, in my opinion. And so yeah, and a lot of people are doing those crazier nootropics. They didn't want a ton of caffeine either. So that's where the demographic is here. Next, we have acetyl L-Carnitine. Love L-Carnitine. It helps with fatty acid transport, all this great stuff. But acetyl L-Carnitine, also known as L-Car, is the one that crosses the blood-brain barrier. And so that is good for the nootropic users who like to get it. And I have some ideas. We're going to be testing this over the coming months that I think acetyl L-Carnitine is best for keto dieters too. So because that acetyl group might then go and help you create some beta hydroxybutyrate later on down the road. We're going to go test that out. And then fatty acid transport, something all keto dieters need anyway. Where was I next? And so after that, we have a gram of taurine instant endurance benefits, water cell hydration. There is a little bit of cognitive research on it, but nothing too crazy. But I think it helps your cells transport water amongst each other, and that's always a good thing. Staying hydrated, drink plenty of water as always, especially if you're like getting crazy on some of those nootropic supplements and you're sitting at your desk just staring like this, working on the computer. Dude, make sure you eat and drink some water when you're doing that. Okay, so taurine helps with a lot of that stuff, but you gotta feed your body water. It kind of gives you this nice sheath of cell hydration, and is great for endurance right off the first bat. A gram is a perfect dose. Between 500 milligrams to 1.5 grams is where we like it, so right down the middle there. And provides a little bit of sulfur if you're sulfur depleted. Huge fan of taurine. After that is DMAE, not DMAA. This is DMAE, and that stands for dimethyl aminoethanol bitartrate. And so this is another choline compound. It doesn't increase acetylcholine as much as just increases choline levels circulating in your system. And so it's a little bit different, but we have 200 milligrams, which is like right on the beginning end of like the doses that we like a lot. And so this it's a good ingredient that helps with the people who like choline, who are kind of getting choline depleted, all that stuff, because taking the piracetam, phenylpiracetam, oxiracetam, all that weird stuff that I don't even know what's cool with the cool kids anymore. But yeah, DMAE and the cholines are great for that. After that, we have some L-theanine to kind of bring down and smooth out that caffeine hit. And so it's 100 milligrams of L-theanine to 161 milligrams of caffeine. I like to have my L-theanine dose at or preferably below the caffeine dose, and we do have that. Now, the research shows that when you combine this and caffeine, there is a synergistic effect for cognitive function, and that's why it's in here. FocusXT, and that's L-theanine. It comes from tea leaves. After that, we have a little bit of tasteless teacrine. I did not taste the teacrine, and okay, so teacrine is a neuromodulator that kind of enhances other stimulants or other sedatives, I believe, but other stimulants that it's with, and it lasts a long time. The thing is to really feel it, you need a monster dose. This is like just like the dicaffeine malate. I like how it just lengthens out the energy curve a little bit, and so we have a little bit of the teacrine. Now, teacrine is one of the worst tasting compounds around, so what they did is they made this into a tasteless teacrine form that lowers the amount a little bit, but you're still getting some teacrine, and I didn't taste any of the bitter, crazy teacrine taste in there, so they did a good job with that. And then after that, we have some lutein, and that's good for the eye support. My grandmother had macular degeneration, so I do every day. I take a lutein zeaxanthin supplement, which may help with that. But so I think this is more targeting for the gamers. If there's a nootropic benefit, I don't know about it, so maybe someone could chime in. We have a blog post. I would love to update it if anyone has any nootropic benefits, but I think it's there for the eye support gaming kind of thing, and just like, you know, because if you're taking FocusXT and you're on extra stuff, you're just like all wired up from your FocusXT and you're staring at the computer and you're not blinking, then you should probably get a little bit of lutein, and you should remember to blink. Remember, there's the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look away from your computer for 20 seconds and blink 20 times at something 20 feet away. Is that right? It's something like that. And so I believe that's the 20-20-20 rule. Is that 10? Yes, 20-20-20 rule. Okay, after that, huperzine A. So this is actually, we were talking about acetylcholine being the learning neurotransmitter. This down-regulates the enzyme that breaks down your acetylcholine. I believe it's acetylcholine esterase. I probably pronounced that wrong. But anyway, that attacks and breaks down your acetylcholine. If you actually down-regulate that thing using huperzine A, then you get acetylcholine around longer. And there's even some studies that are crazy. They're showing like this stuff helps create new neurons. And so really cool ingredient. You just need a little tiny little dose of that. And so we have 100 micrograms, which is right in the middle of the standard dose we have. Then you have the dual mode caffeine options. And I'm done with this ingredient explainer, which I wasn't even planning on doing, but I'm all wired up from FocusXT. Cotton candy flavor. So now you know, oh man, the bigger the chug, okay, now that I'm not choking on it, the bigger the chug, the better the flavor and the aftertaste is. That was the last sip, and that stuck really well. I gotta hand it to them. This is awesome. If you like cotton candy, I think you gotta check this out, because no one else is doing this. Is there another cotton candy supplement out there? I don't think so. There might be. I didn't Google. Swallow. Come on. Freaking cotton candy. Did I say? I've been saying cotton candy the whole time today. Candy corn. We're not editing that, whatever. Okay, so I've had a lot of fun with this. If you like these kind of videos, don't expect them too often. I'm not gonna be putting my daughter's, I just sweated all over this thing, poor girl. I'm not gonna be putting my daughter's costumes on all the time, but hey, we like to have fun here, but we like to mix it with some science. We have a blog post where we have sources cited and all that. I try to bring a good balance of the research and the fun flavors. And today was definitely both heavy on both, but I'm a fan of this. I say if you are a fan of candy corn, not cotton candy, if you're a fan of candy corn, you're gonna like this. If you hate candy corn, you still actually might like this, but it's a little bit riskier of a purchase. SNS is going to, if this works out for them, they're gonna be doing more of these. So buy the tub, support the brand. They do some really cool stuff. They have some really good single ingredient products, such as the straight up Hygenamine fat burning supplement and Vaso 6, the pump supplement. They have a lot of good single ingredient stuff, but FocusXT has always been their bread and butter. So check it out. And if this sells out well, then it's time for something crazy over Christmas. Drop your comments below and tell SNS what they should make next. Thanks for watching. Who wants some candy corn?
Welcome to PricePlow.
Yeah, you like my wings? Also, we gotta taste this thing. It's just so much. How much candy corn? Okay, that's good. I like candy corn.